Hey guys, it's Mark, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Alright guys, so I know everything looks a tad bit different today. I got a different background with me, a different type of life situation going on. So the reason why you see a lot of this is because I'm trying to do my best to provide a better atmosphere for you guys to feel a lot more welcome with, and even for myself to feel a lot more welcome with. So hopefully as the next couple videos are released, you'll see a lot of difference in the type of setting I'm going to have. But I know today you guys are really wondering about why I have you here. And today my video is going to talk about my top surgery consultation that I actually recently just had. So if you're new to my channel, you don't know who I am. My name is Mariiiwrld. I've been on hormones for the last year, 4 or 5-ish months. I transitioned from female to male. So with that being said, I've actually just recently had a top surgery consultation which discusses me moving forward to have a vasectomy of my breast. With that, I think that as I move forward within my transition, I think I learned a lot about not only myself, but I learned a lot about doctors' point of views on a lot of things. So today what I'm going to talk about a lot of is really how my consultation went with my doctor, and talk about my next steps moving forward that we discussed within that consultation. So if you guys want to stick around just for about 10-15 minutes, you guys get to know a little bit more about how my consultation went, and I hope that you guys stay tuned, so thank you. So let's go ahead and get into it. So I went to my doctor that I actually recently wanted to talk to on Friday, this past Friday that just came up. My girlfriend and I take my girlfriend with me because she's going to be the one that takes notes and hear a lot of different things that I'm not going to hear, because a lot of times I forget things. And it kind of messes up, kind of like my thought process. So I miss like small little details. So I take her with me so that she can take notes for me, because it just makes it 10 times easier for me. So once I got there, of course, it's simple procedures like everybody else that you go to when you're trying to go to a doctor's office. They tell you to come in, they check your weight, your height, and all that things. The crazy thing that I realized when I went there though was actually that they had me on like this very unique scale that not only takes your weight and your height, but it also takes like your body fat mass and like 4 or 5 other different things that I had no clue even existed. I thought you had to have like a whole separate test for that, but crazy that it had it all in one. So of course that's the first thing that you always normally do when you go to the doctor's office. So I took that to like my body fat, my percentage of that, and things like that, just to make sure that like your BMI has to be below a certain percent. Your body fat may or may not have to be below a certain percent. I highly doubt that. I really don't think that really matters. I think a lot of what comes into trying to go to a top surgeon and go to this consultation is really to make sure that they try to figure out which procedure might be best for you, and as well as ask for your candidacy as well. Like, they want to make sure that you are a good candidate for a top surgery. You're not just getting it, more like an impulsive thing that you're going to regret later. For me, that's basically what happened in the first, half of going into my top surgery, the basics of, going to get your height, weight, and body fat and mass, which is the first part. So of course the second part is really just more the nurse coming in, and it was a guy that actually ended up being my nurse. And they, the second part is just really just going down these questions like, do you smoke, do you drink, when was the last time you did this, do you exercise regularly? And it was a full-blown questionnaire. It was probably about 50 to 75 questions, and them asking you is this what you do on an everyday basis? What do you do with this? And do you drink enough water every day? Which of course I have no problems answering, because honestly I try to keep myself extremely fit and healthy on a consistent basis. Now I don't know about fit pretty recently, but fit enough, to keep myself in good shape. So, I'm answering all my questions, and my girlfriend of course is trying to input her 2 cents, saying I don't really know if you really actually do that much, which more than likely is right, because she sees it from another point of view. I try to always convince myself that, I'm doing this when I know that I'm really not doing it. That was really the second part of it. They just do the basic questionnaires and kind of get that knocked out, at the beginning. The third part really was them actually taking photos of my breast. Like I said, I had a man, guys, as my nurse practitioner, which in my case I really don't have no problem with, because I know what reason I'm coming here for, and I'm pretty sure he knew too, because Dr. Capazio actually said that she'd done a couple of top surgeries before with transgender people who were transitioned from female to male. So I'm pretty sure that he was used to that, being prepared. So for me, I'm thinking like, does he know? Because when we was in the doctor's office, my girlfriend pointed out, she's just like, it's like silicones on the wall for women, I'm assuming, who want to get bigger breast implants or smaller ones. Because I'm pretty sure that Pfizer isn't just, for transgender patients. Like, she takes a lot of different patients. So I was kind of thinking in my head too, as she pointed out, she was just like, you see all the silicone on the wall there? I'm just like, yeah, I do. And I was kind of thinking like, does he know that I'm here for top surgery, or does he think I'm a woman, like a man, actually trying to get like my breast? Because on the weight, he put male, which I have no problem with, because my doctor called me like a couple of days before and was like, do you want to be referred to as, what's your pronouns and things like that. So I'm just like, does he know that like I'm female? Like, I feel like this body mass indicator is going to be completely wrong, because it's not going to give the correct percentage, the correct percentage of what I'm going to have. So anyways, I was overthinking in my head before he did it. And now, like I said, I have no problem with me taking off my shirt and him taking pictures of it, because it's needed for medical purposes. It's not like this man's going to go home and take me home and be a creep. But, I think it wasn't weird. Like I said, I just wanted to make sure that he knew what reason I was there for. But after that, after we got to the part where I had to take my shirt off and actually take pictures, it was kind of like, I want to say it was weird, but like I said, it's kind of just like me having to stand at angles for like a long period of time so that he can take the picture. And then after he took the picture, he just telling me to turn the picture. So it just kind of just like, I was trying to just get used to it. You know what I'm saying? But it went by quick, it was cool, and he was really nice. So it wasn't like I said, he was being weird or nothing. It's just me just overthinking in my head that, this man just looking at my breast taking pictures. Like, should I be concerned? But I'm like, this man is a whole professional, so I have no reason to really be concerned. So that's just me just overthinking in my head. Just the usual. So, yeah, so that was the third part, which was me taking off my shirt and then taking pictures of my breast just to give an examination of it. For before, of course, and then afterwards, like the top surgery later. So the fourth part is actually when the doctor came in. So like I said, my doctor came in, she's extremely nice, extremely cool. And she was kind of really just asking me the questions like, how long have you been on testosterone? Have you had any other procedures? Have you been on anesthesia before? Things like that. And these are questions that I know off bat, because I have had a previous surgery before, like years ago with my knee. I had tore my ACL back when I was playing basketball. So that was like the only procedure I had, so it kind of made it easy for me to answer a lot of these questions. And of course my hormones too as well, because I know how long I've been on my hormones. So after we finished with the questionnaire part of it, the last part, which is really just her really examining my breast, she had me lay down, of course, feeling around, just making sure that there wasn't any abnormalities within my breast area. So then after that, she told me to get up. She measured my breast, from not only from like top to bottom, the nipple, my nipple areola, I'm talking about like a full examination. Like, I didn't even know that there's a lot of different measurements that you have to make on your breast to make sure that your breast is going to be compatible with different procedures. Like, I didn't even think that was the case. I thought that you could really choose your procedure and then the doctor say whether or not that's not going to be, it's going to be possible. So I think that her measuring different angles and different lengths of my breast to ensure which procedure would be best for me was pretty intriguing, at the beginning, because I was kind of just looking like, why are we taking so long just doing all these measurements? Like, why are you measuring from my nipple to my underboob? Like, why are you measuring from my whole entire boob? Once she broke it down for me, it made a lot more sense. So I was kind of just like, okay, now I understand. Because she asked me at the beginning too, she was like, what procedure were you having an ID on? And I told her that at the time, I don't really care what procedure is really done to me, to be completely honest with you guys. Like, I really just want to get my breast removed. So the procedure it being, whether that be a keyhole, period roller, double incision, etc. I didn't really care about the procedure, which one she decided to choose. I really just want to get it done and get it done as quickly as possible. So once she did all that, she basically gave me two options, and my two options was to have either a keyhole or to have a double incision free nipple graft, which she ended up actually making the decision for me, just due to the fact that the keyhole wouldn't really work for me, because she said that I had little breast tissue but a lot of skin, which for her, she's like a big aesthetic person, which I am too. So she was like, aesthetically, it won't really technically work out for you if we were to do the keyhole. Overall, the final decision that we decided to choose was the double incision free nipple graft. And like I said, I see a lot of her previous work. She showed me her before and afters for procedures that she's done on other transgender female to male individuals. And guys, I promise you, her work is absolutely amazing, like to the T. So I'm very excited to see kind of how that all is gonna look for me too, because like I said, like she had people who had like botched top surgeries as well that she ended up redoing, and they actually ended up looking complete, like absolutely amazing, guys. So I'm excited to see how it's gonna go. Now I went through like the basic process of how, you know, my start to finish of that consultation was. I'm gonna go break down you guys the next steps that I have to do forward to go ahead and get this top surgery finalized for my surgery day. The next steps that I have to do now technically is really just getting a letter from my therapist. And the reason why I have to get a letter from my therapist is because I'm going through my insurance. My job actually pays for me to get top surgery. Once I get the paperwork from my therapist basically diagnosing me with gender dysphoria, I have to submit that into my insurance, and my insurance will let me know how much they'll be able to cover, and if it's covered either, you know, 25%, 50%, 100%. And if it is 100%, of course that's gonna save me a ton of money, just so that, you know, and so that moving forward, all I have to do is just get surgery. That's really the only thing that I have to do right now. That's the next step that I have to do. So I'm going to see my therapist next week, talk to him and tell him like, hey, I'm getting top surgery, but they say I need to have a medical letter stating that I'm diagnosed with gender dysphoria. Can we get this typed up as soon as possible, of course, because the sooner the better. Because she said once you get the letter written up, submitted to the hospital, that's gonna take about 1 to 4 weeks, and then after that, once the hospital gets the approval, or well, technically gets the paperwork, it's going to be another 1 to 4 to 6 weeks of it being approved by the insurance. But she said the insurance is pretty quick, so I hope that's the case. And after that, we get a schedule date. So it's going to be 2 months after, whenever all the paperwork is finalized and approved of, that I get a schedule on my surgery date. So right now, guys, my estimated surgery date might be October and November of this year. So that's extremely exciting. So I'm excited. Those are the next steps, and that's how my conversation was. So I'm extremely excited, guys, and I hope that everything just goes smoothly. No issues and no problems. So yeah. And of course, if anybody has any questions for me related to my consultation, they want more insight on how it went for me and who my doctor was, I can definitely give you guys that information. Don't hesitate to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, like and subscribe to this page at Mariiiwrld for all of my social medias. And you guys can DM me at any time just to get more questions on that. Exciting news for you guys. I actually have my website being developed and it's finished actually, but I'm trying to give you guys an exact date when I want to drop it. I just want to make sure everything looks good, great for you all to be able to go on there, book any services with me, learn more about new content, blogs, my nonprofit organization. All that is going to be included on my website, which is going to be dropping really, really soon within the next, I'll say, a week to 2 weeks. And I hope that you guys are going to be excited for that and get more information on me and who I am and what I plan to do with my platform that I have for you all. But yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this up. I thank you guys for joining me today. I thank you guys for listening to my top surgery consultation day and how it went. Of course, like I said, just follow me on all social medias. Don't hesitate to ask me questions. Of course, guys, God bless your Sundays. And until next time,